Let's start with that. So it's very interesting where, you know, this change situation, they can ask you to leave your money, but they will not give you free service. I mean, it can be as little as 15 naira. This person can actually sit on your neck and like, I need my money. And then you're like, oh, but you can actually let this go. But then they're expecting you to let it go because they feel like, so there's this entitlement mentality like, well, I offered you a service, so how about you give me the extra money and all of that. And I mean, that has caused a lot of ruckus with people that will not take it. I mean, there was a time, in fact, what am I even talking about? It happened to me this morning as I was commuting to work, and I didn't have change. I was giving it to the ride-hailing service guy, and then he was like, madam, I don't have change, you do happy weekend for me. I was like, weekend pass.
I said, it's Monday. It is Monday, my brother.
Sir, weekend has passed. Please, can I have my change? And it was like, madam, now, wow, you frown, no. And all of that. And sometimes they will even make you feel bad for you asking for something that you deserve. Exactly. I mean, there are times whereby you would, okay, so something happened to me one time. I took the popular Okada motorcycle, and then on this motorcycle I told him that I was going to give him 1,000 naira. He said okay, no problem. So when I got to my destination, I asked for my change. I was meant to get 800 naira change because the amount was 200 naira. Where I was going wasn't so far. I asked for my change, and then he was like, he just realized that he doesn't really have change. He was now using style. He was not checking his pocket. I don't have change. And I was like, okay. So what do we do now? He said, madam, you have to go look for it by yourself. I said, okay, no problem. Normally, you know, they would be the ones asking around for change. But I said, no problem. I was not in the mood. So I was looking for change. And then this lady was like, oh, let me help you out. And then she gave me, she broke it down into 200s and 500. I was like, okay, so here you go. He now said, okay, thank you. As he put his hand in his pocket, he was about to remove something. He just removed change.
Wow.
I was very annoyed. I was like, but you made me start walking up and down. He said, what's my problem now? Don't I know how it is here? I'm coming from Lagos.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? I think it's also that mentality that you know that you should be able to do giveaway. You know,
I'm not doing giveaway. You said do giveaway for me, please.
Do happy Monday for us. You know, so I think, and it's so sad that some of these vendors, some of these services, they know exactly what they're doing.
Yes.
So it's a form of trying to hustle you. You know, so to make this conversation even more interesting, we had to look at some views from the net for people to actually share their experiences, some of their payment challenges, experiences, and boy, oh boy, we're going to get into it.
It's a whole lot. I mean, the question is, payment challenges at the point of purchase. What recent frustrating experience have you had? Now, this one is from Blessing. Blessing from Lagos, sharing experience. She said, there was a particular time I sent someone to help me buy food at an eatery, only for the person to come back saying, because of 15 naira change, did you not sell for her? And what she was going to buy was food worth 950 naira. And I gave her 1,000 naira. In fact, when she came back with the money, I was just so angry because I couldn't just believe they forfeited 950 naira worth of sale just because of 50 naira change. Now, wow, why are they now selling? It made me wonder if this is what they have been doing to other people the moment there's no change. I'm sure that business is not theirs, and that's why they can easily send customers away because of 50 naira change. That's interesting.
That's interesting. That's actually a good perspective, because how you do away with 950
naira. I mean, that's interesting, because in my head, what I know that businesses do, especially small businesses or food businesses, is if it's in the vicinity or if it's in an area where, you know, they have probably commuters, drivers and all of that, they have like a book, some form of debtor's book or credit book or something. So they will write your name and date and something just to let you know that, okay, so you're owing me this amount, or I'm giving you this change. And in fact, in some places, they would give you like a card, like a small piece of paper that is signed or stamped, just so that when you come back and you're asking for your change, you can show that, okay, this is some form of receipt or something, just to show that, okay, so I'm meant to get change, or I'm meant to pay you this amount of money. So that way they can have an account and they can, they can also be accountable for, the change that you're owing them or they're owing you. That's how I know these small businesses run, so that they don't chase their customers away. And then, how can you send somebody away because of 950 naira change? I don't get it.
All right, so the next one, Moyo from Lagos. Moyo from Lagos is saying, I don't think I've ever been in that situation. I'm a very nice person. You cannot help but being nice to me back. But that is quite nice, so I don't know. But that is quite nice, so that's interesting to me.
Okay, Bimbo from Ogun State. I entered one Mumu bike like this, so I asked this man if he had 500 naira change. He said yes. When we got to the bus stop, the bike man started looking for change and I was super late for work. I couldn't let go of 400 naira because of the time. I didn't really have so much left with me. He spent over 10 minutes looking for change. It was super frustrating that I had to join him in the search for my change. Yes, these has also happened to me, where, I would ask, I just shared my experience with you. I would ask if you have change, and then you say, yes, I have change. And then just because you want to take a customer, when we finally get to where we're going to, you start saying, hey, madam, so you see, so let's just ask those people selling something there and have somewhere to go.
What's interesting is that these little changes that they hustle, quote unquote, from people actually makes it adds up.
Yes.
Do you understand? So that's why they keep doing it. So they get 100 naira here that they're not supposed to get. They get another 200 naira here. They get another 200 naira. Do you understand? It adds up. It builds up at the end of their day of service.
I'm telling you.
And then they look at it and they're like, yes.
I have hustled real hard.
Hustled real hard.
Look at it. There is a drop of water that makes a mighty ocean. So every little 100 naira that you're getting from somebody that is not assuming that you want to hustle them is an additional 100. 100 times 10 is 1,000. 1,000 times 10, like that. And then you're making more. And then, you're meant to just receive 100 naira from them, but you've received 500 naira from this person. Something that happened to me one time, like it was in the night. I was trying to get somewhere very quickly, and so I picked this bike up. Well, it was my bad.
Yeah.
It was my bad because I could have asked if he had change, but I didn't. I was holding 1,000 naira. But where he was taking me wasn't so far, 100 naira. Unfortunately for me, where he was taking me to had no shops or people around. It was like an estate. So there's no way we can be knocking on people's doors to ask for change. Honestly, he didn't have change. So I saw him, he was genuinely hopeless at that point. So I just asked him to go away with the 900 naira. No, it was very full. He paid my chest. But it was my fault. I didn't ask him early if he had money and all of that. So that I allow. But in situations where you are not looking for change on my behalf, I'm going to have a problem, really.
All right, so Victoria from Lagos is saying, so there was a particular time I took a fancy at a clothes store on my way home. That particular day, I had no cash, but I was with my ATM card. The store looked so nice that I thought to myself, there's no way such a store won't be using POS or at least allow for e-payments. I got there without asking if they do, because I was convinced they would. So I began shopping. Luckily for me, it's a clothes store where you are allowed to taste the clothes for fitness. So I began tested the first, second, third, and fourth clothes. Last, I made my choice. When it was time to pay, I brought out my card. That's how Auntie said they don't have POS, so let me do transfer. She said she doesn't receive alerts, so she wouldn't know when the money enters. There was no bank around, no any nearby ATM, so I decided to drop the clothes and be on my way. This auntie just started shouting at me that I'm now going after I've worn half of the clothes in her shop and dirtied some with my makeup. This auntie legit started raising her voice that people had to gather. She created a scene that people became interested in knowing what had transpired between us that caused so much noise. I narrated what had happened to a man that kept asking what the problem was. He understood me and paid for the clothes. She said I had stained. There were just 3, so she packed them inside a bag for me. I thanked the man and we both left there to a more quiet place where we could get to know each other more. Well, you know the rest, I tell you, because we do. Okay.
We do.
Business is love for everybody. It's not just about knowing how to sell or the amount of change to give back. It has a lot to do with customer service and relationship. She lacked that, as in she definitely lacked.
She definitely lacked it.
Yeah, you know, this, okay, I'm going to bring it into perspective the conversation we had on customer service and how this particular retailer dealt with this situation. Completely unprofessional. You don't raise your voice at a customer because you are lacking things that you are supposed to have to make a business run, especially a retail business. It's not everybody that will come into your shop. Like, I don't even like holding cash. I spend a lot faster when I hold cash. So it's very dangerous for me to hold physical cash. Do you understand? So I carry my card with me. That can be dangerous in itself, but the danger is more is more controlled. Do you understand?
But I understand.
Yeah, my spending is a lot more controlled. So a lot of people don't carry cash. Do you understand? For whatever reason it may be, maybe security reasons, maybe to be financially responsible because they know how they spend. Do you understand?
Yes,
so there are different reasons why people don't carry cash. So as a retail business, you should actually have the full 3 options. Do you understand? E-transfer, POS, and the cash payment. You should have all options because, for instance, a person may have forgotten their ATM. A person may also probably doesn't have cash on him, but they have their mobile phone on them. So that means they can actually send your money to them.
Yes.
Now, I understand this particular excuse that this person is given, but the issue is that the retail shop in concern, they have not, so for instance, it's probably her boss that gets the alerts. So that's why, a lot of people do scams where they say that they transfer their money to you. They'll show you the receipt on their phone, but nothing actually entered.
Do you know that
people do scams
like that where you will actually get the alert?
Yeah, I heard about that one.
You will get the alert and then the money actually did not make its way into your bank. That's so...
Very interesting.
That's devious.
Yeah, so for good reason, there are some retail shops. So one of the like grocery shops around here, I call her my mommy. So the first time I tried to do transfer to her, she was like, you this young man, are you sure you're not going to scam me? I said, what will I do? You understand? So obviously I had to win her trust with that particular form of payment. So I get the mentality, and also bearing in mind that it's probably her boss that receives the alerts, but notwithstanding, and also actually for POS services, I know that they actually pay a particular charge. I think they pay a particular charge to run those particular services.
Yes.
Yeah, so that is not an excuse for a retail shop not to have a POS service, but again, probably that's why they don't have a POS service, because they don't want to pay for those things. Not good enough. So as a retail shop, they should know better. As a retailer in that particular shop, customer service on a 0, completely. On
a 0 level, and I mean, I agree with what you said. In fact, I would even buttress your point more. You should not. Yes, there are times whereby your customers will not be right. I mean, there is that adage that says customer is king, customer is right.
Customer is king, but go on.
Yeah. I mean, yes, there are times whereby customer can actually be a peasant and stress you out.
Yeah.
There are days like that. However, notwithstanding, it shouldn't change the fact that you have a brand to protect, no matter how small it is. There is no need to yell at anybody.
Exactly.
If someone is trying to harass you, call the security or get people to get them out.
Yeah.
At times whereby some people would come and want to, turn your shop upside down. Get people to get them out.
Yeah.
You have a brand to protect. And if you need help, call for help.
Yeah.
However, in this particular situation, we don't know what happened because we didn't hear from the retailer.
Yeah.
However, if this is true and this was how the retailer handled the situation, there are a lot of retailers that do that and yell at people, chase people away, make them uncomfortable in their shops. I really think that you should find another business to do, really, if you want to be yelling at people, because you'd realize that other people's shops are moving and yours is not, because people are not comfortable with coming to your shop to buy anything. And the interesting thing is they may even have very good products. Good clothes, trendy clothes, affordable clothes, but your attitude is not just right to business.
Right, yeah.
That's just, your attitude have to be right to business. And I mean, You talked about e-transfer, and I totally understand why a lot of businesses, especially small-scale businesses, do not use e-transfer because of scams these days. I've been to a salon where they told me point blank that was sorry, we don't take e-transfer. If you cannot give us cash or use the POS, we don't take it. Unfortunately, that particular day, their POS wasn't working. I think it was something that had to do with the network from the bank and all of that. So we waited for about 30 minutes. There was no ATM around there to pay, and I wasn't holding any cash. I understood the policy, and so I was not upset because they were polite. However, I felt like, okay, so you have to find another way to make sure that people are not waiting, because we're about 6 of us waiting to pay using cards. Nobody was holding cash. A lot of people don't hold cash these days. Things are not very safe. So people are trying as much as possible to make sure that they're also safe by not holding so much cash. I mean, I shouldn't be holding about 40,000 naira cash.
That's very dangerous.
It is dangerous. And I want to buy something worth 40,000 naira. I shouldn't be holding that. So, it's something that businesses should look into, especially small-scale businesses. A lot of them do not have point-of-sale machines, and the shoots are having this. All right, so this comment is from Good Luck. Good Luck reached out to us from Port Harcourt, and Good Luck says, well, I wouldn't say mine was frustrating because at the end it favored me, sort of. So my wife sent me to buy some groceries at the supermarket. When I arrived, the only people in the supermarket were myself and the man at the check. At the checkout behind the counter, he was completely engrossed in a conversation on his mobile phone in a language I did not understand. In fact, he was just staring deep into his phone and chattering away. I picked up the groceries, and at the counter, I placed everything down for him to do what they do best. He didn't bother combing through everything I had bought, or even checking if the machine was reading the right amount for each of the items. I knew with his lack of concentration he was going to make mistakes, so I continued watching him. I was so amused watching this while he remained glued and with his face almost buried in his phone as he chatted away, never looking at what his hand was doing. And so the machine didn't read 3 of the items I bought, but still, this man packed it inside the bag. I didn't say anything. I gave him my card. He inserted it into the POS and typed the amount the machine was showing, which was incorrect. When he was done, he gave me my card back, and that was how I went home with free goods worth over 3,000 naira.
Wow.
I honestly wondered in which book he write that in. It was after about 3 days when I had a bad dream, I started feeling guilty. So I went back to return the money. At least, guess what? The man didn't even recognize me.
Wow.
His boss was beside him, so he asked me for my receipt quietly. I handed it over to him. It was then he realized he had made a mistake. All the while, his boss was looking at him with a bad eye. Only God knows what happened next when I left.
Fired.
If he's not fired, I'll be upset with the boss.
Oh my goodness.
Fired or suspended.
That is serious lack of concentration.
Lack of concentration that you are worried about.
Wow.
That is gross misconduct.
Wow.
That is loss for that particular company.
Yeah.
So, so let us say this guy bought goods worth of 10,000 naira. He charged him 3K. So that's 7,000 naira loss. One. There are other people that would have been at that shop that particular day, and other days are they that didn't come back and did not have bad dreams and just went away. Can you imagine?
A lot of people think that the bill that you get is always that there can't be any error in it. I beg to completely
check your receipt.
You need to check your bill. I mean, I was somewhere with my friend, and we're just having a meal and all of these kind of things. And then the lady was time for us to go, and the lady passed the bill, and he was about to pay, and I was like, guy, wait first, bring the bill, because the bill sounded more than what we ate. Do you understand? It sounded more about what we drank and what we ate. I was like, this doesn't sound correct. So I asked her, I said, sister, come. 1 kidney is how much? Oh yeah, this one. She now said, she actually put 3,000 naira extra. But it was a genuine mistake. It was an honest mistake. It's not like she was trying to,
we don't know.
We don't know, but from her reaction, it was an honest mistake. So she went back. She
may be a good actor.
Well, true. But she was apologizing and all these kind of things. So, you need to check your bill. So, same thing with people on the other side of the till. Do due diligence. This is just very interesting to me. We have to commend his integrity, actually. He could have just decided that, you know what, another win in the streets. Another win in the streets of Port Harcourt. No, I was going to say Lagos or Port Harcourt, but, you know, he actually went back to actually address that issue. More citizens like...
I must say something, please. As business owners, get good hands.
Yeah.
It is difficult, but try to get good hands and try to train the hands that you have.
Yeah.
And as a good hand, or as a help, or as a waiter or waitress, or a service attendant or somebody, try to be that good hand.
Exactly.
Have integrity and pay attention to what you're doing and do due diligence, really, because I can imagine the loss that this man would have incurred so far.
Exactly.
He just realized that goods are moving, but money is not coming in. What is happening?
Somebody is not concentrating.
Somebody is not concentrating.
All right, so Funshaw from Lagos. Funshaw from Lagos is saying, personally, I like paying for everything I buy with cash instead of using my card. That makes me keep a handle on my budget and minimize frivolous spending. But I know that some places will require you to pay with your card or something that doesn't shall require direct cash payment. But I have had terrible payment challenges before. Terrible payment challenges before, most of which I can't remember. But the one that I can't seem to forget was at a gas station. I filled my gas and they handed my change to me and the receipts. I got into my car and just as I was about to leave, I counted my change and realized it wasn't complete. I was supposed to receive 800 naira change. I paid for the gas at 4,200 and they gave them 5,000. But I was given 600 naira change. I know it's my bad for not counting it right there and then, but I guess I just assumed it would be complete due to the fact that I was given multiple 100 naira notes. Now I came down from the car to complain. Of course, there was a bit of argument between the cashier and I. She kept insisting that she gave me the charge. She gave me my change complete. This went on for 5 minutes and I was beginning to feel very uncomfortable as other customers were staring at the both of us, wondering who was right and who was wrong. But to my surprise, she uttered a very bad statement that changed the whole thing. She said I'd probably gone to keep the money in my car and then came down to complain of it being incomplete. I was so mad that I had to voice out that day because apparently I was being accused of theft. Luckily for me, one of my pop's friends is a police. I dialed his number and started narrating the whole situation. When they realized I wasn't going to have it their way, they stylishly gave me my change and said I should be going. I wanted to insist that I won't go, but man was already tired of arguing too, so I just left angrily. All right, so there are faults from both parties, actually.
Yes.
But there are faults from both parties. I was going to say, but, you know, you would expect that, you know, there will also be business integrity from the side of the business, that they will give you the exact change. But for whatever reason, as we just
mistakes happen, you know.
And also, I'm not even going to talk about mistakes. We just said that every 200 naira that is hustled from a person makes a big change. People in gas stations actually do this thing. Some people in gas stations actually do this thing on purpose, and that is why I don't like paying for gas with cash. I don't.
A lot.
Because they would, and you know, there's a way they do it. It happened to me one time at a particular gas station, and I was so mad at myself because I was like, it's me. It's my fault.
I let them hustle me.
I let them hustle me. Do you understand? So, like, you need to be very... I don't like paying for, as in, with cash at gas stations for any reason at all. So there's faults on both sides. He should have checked the change. But the fault on the business side as well is that it seemed to me that they were trying to hustle, or she was trying to hustle him because she gave in to the fact that she gave him the 200 naira, you know, later. You know, a lot of people will see this story and be like, because of 200 naira. Why are you arguing because of 200 naira?
Look, economy.
Exactly. You know, like
my 200, please.
Look, whether it's 5 naira, that is my money.
Thank you.
You don't have, as in, whether it's 5 naira, whether it's 15 naira, whether it's 100 naira, and I have 1 million naira, I am still entitled to that my 100 naira. If I want to give it to you, that's a completely different story. Do you understand?
Yes.
Like it is my money and I demand for it.
Yes.
Do you understand? When give me my money first, then I'll decide whether I'm gonna dash it to you. So so I find it interesting when people try and trivialize this situation, saying that it's not even that big a change.
Why are you stressing us? It's not a big deal. Blah blah blah.
100 naira.
Thank
200
you.
naira to you is 100. Is 200. Is different to another person.
Yes.
Because people have different.
I think people earn below $1 daily.
Exactly.
So I mean, you're already earning below 400 or 500. I don't know how much it is at the moment.
Yeah.
500 naira.
Yeah.
You're currently earning below 500 naira daily, and then you want to take away 200 naira from me. I don't understand. There's one thing that I need to add.
Yeah.
You know, people size people up.
Yes, they do that.
People actually size. I mean, it has happened so many times, and I'm like, I don't understand. You know, you would hear something like, "But you're a big girl now. Why won't you give us your money?" Or somebody can tell you. So somebody has said this thing to my mom in Yoruba before that. I'm going to say it in Yoruba. I'm going to try to translate. Yeah. It says, "Olowo ni o ye ka je lara yin," which means that you have money that we're meant to eat from rich people. And I'm like, do you know if I've eaten today?
As in.
Have I eaten today? It's just very bad. Anyways,
oh
my goodness. All right. Kerry from Lagos says, my sister and I went to buy granuts in the market. She said it was 650 naira for a small bottle. I gave her 1,000 naira. She gave me 150 naira back as my change. I asked her for the balance. She said she doesn't have change. She only asked the two sellers beside her for the 200 naira change. I was there watching all the drama. After they told her they don't have the change, that's how this woman asked me if I can use the change to take sweets. This one with me. I had to ask her, "Ma, you want me to buy sweets worth 200 naira? She replied, "Auntie, no vex. Now because I don't get change." And I replied, like, "Ma, because you don't have change, you now want me to buy 200 naira sweets?" She was just looking at me with a pity face, hoping I'd actually buy the sweets. It was until I told her that was the change I was going to use to transport myself back to where I was coming from. She went to ask other people and she gave me my change angrily. Just imagine. Like, I almost felt like she wanted me to spend the whole money in a shop. Very bad attitude. My sister and I just left, never to go back there again.
That actually happens.
A lot. Well,
it actually happens, and it's more time than often. It happens on purpose.
Yes,
actually.
It happens on purpose. But I don't want to say that this person has a bad attitude. Let's see it this way.
Okay.
Let's see it this way. This person is just being industrious. I want to use industrious.
That's still hustle. That's still
industrious. I mean, you know, there are times where okay. So let's compare this woman that's asking you to buy sweets and the person that didn't let you buy 950 naira food and returned the money. Like, this person has, Yoruba people say, Oraje, that this person has business spirit. Like, okay, so sis, I don't want you to spend your money outside. How about you buy some sweets?
Wow.
Buy some sweets.
No, but then claiming that you don't have change to then collect more money from your customer. I mean, it's actually, you know what, as a matter of fact.
She didn't have change.
From my own business, look, from our own business perspective, it's, as you said, it's wonderful business spirit. But, you know, I want to be on the side of the customer right now.
Right.
That she's trying to hustle the customer's money so that she can buy more sweets.
Maybe she should have tried
who told
harder.
you I like to lick sweets? First
you may not. So the thing is, wait, hold on. You may not like sweet though, but then the children in your environment, they do.
So I'm going to do giveaway.
How about that?
It's money I can
When was the last time you did some charity work?
I'm going to do giveaway with money I'm supposed to use to ride bike. It's all right. All right. So, Bola Dubai from Lagos. Interesting name. Mine was in a bus, so gave the conductor money. I kept on asking for my change. This man just kept on saying, I did come. Till it was time for me to come down. He now has to pair with me with someone I do not even know from Adam.
I know this situation. Yeah. Okay, so till it was time for me to come down, he now had to pair me with someone I do not know from Adam. Also me the Bluetooth, he won't pair.
Okay, you can finish it. you can just finish it.
He was a guy, and and as a lady, and a pretty one at that, I honestly thought this guy would leave the change with me. But he also seemed to be in a hurry. He started looking for how to split 300 naira. His change is 150 naira because Because of this, he followed me everywhere I went. When he saw that all our effort to split the money wasn't fruitful, he decided to buy donuts in my presence. I just couldn't believe my eyes. He gave me my 150 naira change. Then he stopped the bike after walking a little mile away from where I stood, and that was it. Later, they will be forming hard guy. Anyways, never again will a bus conductor pair me with a stranger. Okay, let me explain. She said, oh, saw me the Bluetooth, see one pair, which means that the Bluetooth device is ready to pair.
Yeah.
exactly what she's trying to say. However, I mean, Bola Dubai, calm down. Seriously. Calm down. I mean, he needs his change.
Exactly.
Bros wanted to take bike or buy donuts.
Yeah.
Come on. He's not forming hard guy. He just wants his change now.
Yeah.
Don't you want your change? Are you not fine? Don't you want... Why did you follow him up and down with 150 naira? I mean, look, I feel everybody has a right to get their change. I just feel it's weird that bus conductors do that when they pair you. You don't know anybody. You don't know them from anywhere, but you're pairing us and then you're asking us to look for change. Do you know they do it angrily when they get to the bus stop and then they would just say, oh yeah, you, and then they start going and then you're like,
okay,
what am I supposed
to do from here? But okay, so we're going to quickly run through the last one. So caller from Lagos. We're having a lot of fun with this morning. So caller from Lagos, yes, many serve. I think the most recent one was at a BRC station. I wanted to load my car with 300 naira just for the TO, and when I'm coming back, just for the 2, and when I'm coming back, load again for the fro. I was supposed to get 200 naira. That's how this auntie started saying she doesn't have any change, and she wasn't even making any attempt to look for. I could see from miles away that the bus was loading at the time. At the time, it was almost full, and I wanted to make that bus. But without my card, there was no way I would have been able to enter. I had to wait for someone who was going my way and who had change to come along. By the time that someone came, and by the time I got my change, the bus was already full that I had to take standing. I couldn't wait for the next bus. Inside the bus where I stood was beside these grumpy women. There was potholes on the floor, so for every gallop we entered, I almost fell, and for every almost fall, this woman looked at me with an eye that said, "Oh God, you better stand straight though. If you follow me, you gonna see crazy." So I just had to hold onto the handle of the bus tight so I don't trip. My head was just cursing that lady that didn't give me any change on time. I wonder why they would ever employ such an unfit person to attend to customers.
Sorry, caller. Well, sorry, everyone. Really.
So this morning we've had a look at essentially customers dealing with retailers, and sometimes retailers even dealing with customers from some of our experience within the scope of payment challenges, cash payment challenges.